Okay, everybody's here. I think we got it figured out for the most part for now. Hopefully, we can actually do this time. I am your host, as always, Dr. RPG Jeff Harvey, and this is the Star Trek Europa live play. This is episode, I don't know, 8 or 9, towards
10.
the setting sun. 10. All
10.
right, look at that. Yeah, we had an episode that got lost in there. That's why I'm
Oh, that's right.
confused. This is the continuation of the lost episode, in fact. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I already did it myself. Jack, you're at the top. You can start.
Oh, okay. Hello, I'm Jack. Let's see, how do we do this? It's been so long. Hello, I am Jack. You may know me best over at my own channel at twitch.tv/The People's Ascension, where we are primarily a Dungeons and Dragons tabletop role-playing game, actual play campaign series. It's a cool show. We take a more serious approach than the comedic approach that a number of other D&D tables take. Still good fun for everybody involved. We are currently on a boat, and it is exciting. We are heading to the opposite side of our empire. If you're interested in a story about death, undeath, the afterlife through various cultural perspectives, come check us out on Saturdays at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. Other than that, we have a number of cool hangout sessions that we do. TTRPG content and adjacent content throughout the week, and you can stop by my Twitch channel and check out the schedule and see what we're doing. As for right now, I'm excited to get back to some Star Trek adventures, and my character, Commander Orani Ambrose, the first officer and the chief of security.
Cool.
Thanks for having us back. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to finally be back. John, go ahead and you're next.
Okay. I'm John, and I don't do anything else of note. And I am Science Officer Lieutenant Castrianath Shabaraneva.
All right. Ev.
I'm Evelyn Corbin. I played Dr. Desave Onate.
Right. And Brian.
My name is Brian. I'm playing Captain Jorad Hage, and the only thing I have to plug is my hungry cat.
Yes. Who has been trying, and the geese, the geese,
And the geese.
Of course.
that are trying to eat you.
Is that
You can just have the cat eat the geese, and then everybody's happy.
Right.
I'm not sure how that would work out. Geese are pretty vicious.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
you lose that one.
Yeah.
So I want to give a quick update on why we've been off for so long and what the future holds for this game. We've been off because there's been a move to Arizona. That was John. Then I've also changed jobs. I'm now settled in there, so everything should be good on that front. However, John is also going back to educating in the summer, sometime soon. So that may affect our schedule going forward. So we're going to try to wrap up season 1, hopefully, and then be able to take a short break and come back to it. I've got another game that I was thinking about bringing on, and we'll see how that works out. I do want to thank everybody, though, because we actually, this show, for as few episodes as we've done, was in the top 25 on iTunes last week.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing to me. We've done a really good job. I'm really proud of everybody on the show. I think that the fans have been super supportive, and I've gotten more feedback on this show than I had ever anticipated getting, especially considering how half-assed I have been able to do this show and with our scheduling and everything else. So thank you, everybody, and I look forward to doing more with that. I put up a new episode yesterday. I'm behind a couple episodes on the show getting out. I've got another episode ready to go out next week, and then I've got this episode should be about 2 weeks out. But we'll get caught up within 2.5 weeks. We should be caught up on all of the episodes that we've actually recorded being up and available on iTunes. And we're now on iHeartRadio and Pandora. And I mean, if you can find a place to get a podcast, you can get this show. So it's pretty good. And we'll get them up on YouTube also. And for those on Patreon, which right now we don't have many, but I will have the adventures that we've been doing. They'll be up probably middle of May. Every adventure that we've done will be written up as a mission brief and will be available for download to anyone who subscribes on Patreon, as will all of the uncut episodes that originally aired on Twitch, because Twitch has timelines and when they delete stuff. But those will all be available on the Patreon in their uncut form, as well as you'll be able to get the edited ones that are available on YouTube for free. So, okay, on that note, let's go ahead and do a recap. Where did we last leave our intrepid adventurers?
So we are still on this black hole powered station. We got the oh, my brain just stopped. The quartermaster is now the head of security. They discovered that Eva had been partitioned off, and that the computer was trying to take her over. And now there's this weird Eva computer core. I think core is what we're calling her. Amalgamation. Eva keeps popping through every now and again, and they're struggling for control. We also discovered that playing semantics was a bad life choice, and trying to scan sentinels almost ended very poorly for Mills and Cherka. Let's see, what else?
Anybody else have anything they want to add in while she's looking up her notes?
I know the end scene was Mills and Cherka kind of walking through this swampy bog area, and we faded to black on this terrifying droid that kind of came up out of the swamp.
We also had some stuff going on the ship with Tong running the diagnostics for Eva and other assorted chaos, since basically everybody over the rank of ensign is not on the ship.
Right.
Yep. We also learned that Kostra has entertaining nicknames for everybody.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's the bioman you came across.
Yeah, that's that. Oh yeah, that was what almost messed us up, not the Sentinel.
Right.
And it
'Cause
started
that was the
making
thing
a
that you
god-awful
activated
terrifying
and-
sound.
Correct.
Yes.
Just to set the scene, we've got two groups on the starbase.
Yep.
Right.
One is in core, the computer command center, trying to talk to it. The other are out in the organic biome area of the space station, and they're the ones who encountered the robot.
Right.
Oh, and the captain and core are, when we left off with them, we're presently having an argument because the captain told the core to stand down, and core responded with, "Your system has infiltrated my processing units. You are attacking my system."
Right.
And I believe
There's
with
the-
that, Ambrose leveled his Type 3 at the core's face, I guess. Whatever interface
Yeah.
system was around.
Right. Okay. Let's start on. Let's go ahead and start right there. Pick up right in the middle of the action. So, Core has stated, you have infiltrated my systems. This is a breach of security that I am under attack. And Ambrose, what you can do? Let's go back and remind everyone who's in the room at the moment. So it's Ambrose. Who else was there?
The
Cass is
captain
there.
and
Cass and Hage. Bam. That was it, right? Did you guys have
Yeah, I
the?
believe
You
so.
guys left the extra security back with the people,
Mhm.
the other group wandering around, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. That is the wrong way to have gone with that. So what
I'm
are you gonna
trying
do?
to remember. I feel like before we get into that, well, we're still sort of in recap mode. Cherokee and Mills are by themselves, aren't they?
No, they have
No.
some undisclosed
We
number of
are-
red shirts with them.
No, we're scouting ahead, so we are at the moment technically by ourselves, but the rest of the party's not far behind.
Right. Well, the security guys will essentially are more or less
Right.
with you guys, though. So that's the
Right.
idea.
Yep.
So all right. Yeah. So there you go. In the core, her eyes have been flickering back and forth between that bright blue and what was purple for a little while. Although now they are pretty solidly blue, as they have been for the majority of the time that you guys have been around the interface. Yeah. Ambrose is pointing his Type 3 phaser rifle at that face right there. I think didn't you shoot one of the terminals, or were you just going to?
No, he definitely
Yeah.
didn't.
Not yet.
No.
No.
I am waiting for orders, but I mean,
And in fact,
It's-
I'm going to order you to put down the the phaser rifle, and say,
Ambrose will reluctantly just sort of lean it down to the side, like maybe a good 15-20 degrees. That's about it.
Cass would like to use her knowledge of computer systems and her ability to diffuse the tension to try to de-escalate the situation.
Okay. You want to grab the interface, or grab a terminal and try to interface with it?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a computers and something roll. Some kind of.
Can I ask-
I forgot what this game even. What rules even this game uses.
Control science, got a focus in computer systems, got the talent computer expertise, which gives me an extra D20.
Yeah.
And I've got diffuse the tension, which, well, that's for persuasion, which I'm not actually doing right now.
Well, you'd only be able to use one of those at a time, anyways. But
Yeah. Let's go with computer expertise.
Okay.
I would like to assist with a command roll, trying to talk to the computer, and since I am also trying to defuse the situation by telling Ambrose to put the rifle down.
Right. All right. You can use presence and command, and
I just got a completely new pop-up menu when I tried to roll my dice that overrode all my settings.
Okay.
That was not fun. Yeah,
And
it's doing
Cash,
manual dice entry.
Cash, you since I have advisor, you can re-roll one of your d20s.
Okay, thank you. What is this? What is with this manual dice entry thing?
I don't know. I can't see it. How many you got? I'll roll them for
That's
you.
it.
Oh, okay. I was supposed to roll 3. Yeah, it just says rolling, and then nothing comes up.
Are you, when you're rolling, are you like right clicking on the D20 and selecting 3, or are you rolling through your character sheet?
Rolling through the character sheet, and
And
here,
when you do to
yeah, when I click the blue button, it gives me a box that says manual dice entry.
weird.
Yeah, never seen it before.
Is it
Anywho,
doing
okay.
it?
Yeah, 3D20.
So you got an 8 and 2 3s.
Okay, that is 5 successes.
Nice.
Good deal. No need to re-roll. Oh,
Ignore
plus-
this roll. That was just to see what it was going to do and to see if it's doing anything. All right. So 5 successes plus. I'm guessing Hage has a success. That's 6.
Yep.
All right. I did not set difficulty, so I'm just going to go ahead and say the difficulty was 1 because that's my bad for not saying anything beforehand. So yes, you have the computer, first of all, Hage, what are you going to say in the process?
Peter. All right, Core. It's obvious that we've triggered some security systems. We didn't mean to. We're we're trying to navigate this situation just as much as you. Let us, before you activate your defense systems, let us try and find a solution to this.
And Ambrose, you have lowered your weapon, correct?
I have pointed it slightly askew.
Yes. It is not pointed directly at the face anymore.
No.
All right. Okay, so that I'm going to go ahead and say leaves 5 successes for Cass to do what you want to do, or you can obviously save 2 and max out your momentum. What you find when you dig into the system quickly is that there is an amalgamous process going on in the core. Like, she has identified a process that is not desired. It looks very similar to some of Eva's processes, and it is quickly being eradicated from the system. She is overwriting it and discontinuing it.
Now, we did not fork her, right? There's no backup Eva back on the ship. This is the only Eva.
As far as you are aware, that is correct.
Yeah.
Well, just based on like how Eva works.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
As far as you guys know, you have done nothing to create a new Eva that would be able to do this.
So
Okay.
we don't know how Eva got there, other than the channel was open, but should have been open just to upload, and we partitioned what we uploaded really carefully, as I recall.
Yes. Tried to anyway.
I thought, I don't remember if it was something that was commed over before the ship went dark or if it was something Eva said, but I'm pretty sure somebody told us that the core, the station, was trying to use our ship and take over Eva, and as a matter of defense, she tried to hide in its own system. So we were attacked first, a point that Ambrose is literally biting his lip not from saying.
Yeah. Yep.
Now,
Okay.
Eva told us that when she took over core and explained what the hell was going on and why she was there.
Right. Essentially, you
Right,
have a
yes.
second. You have 2 interfaces right now. I don't know if I made this clear or not, but you have you're now up to 3. You have 3 interfaces. You have your manual interface that Cass is on right now. You have the main core interface, which is that face and wires coming out of it. That's a physical structure. And then you have that structure that you originally encountered, which was the blue outlined face. That was before you went into the room. It was the gatekeeper, basically. That interface has been overwritten now by Eva, and you were able to access that interface directly to Eva. Eva was not able to access. You were not able to access Eva through the core, but through the secondary interface on the outside of the room that you guys encountered the very first time you came here.
Core, can you quarantine that system so that we may repair any damage that may have been done?
At this time, the malware is being addressed. It will be eradicated.
Eliminating files without a full grasp of them, it can be dangerous to software systems. Is that not correct?
This is not an original program. This is an anomaly.
True, but that anomaly may have already changed your files.
Agreed.
Supervisor access, please contain but not delete all anomalous files.
She kind of twitches a little bit and kind of looks off to the side a little bit. I will attempt to contain the anomaly, the anomalous process.
Thank you, Core.
Well, if only all negotiations were that simple.
That's what you get when you get 4 successes. 4 over the 5 over what you need. Max,
so, Core, have you activated your internal security systems as well?
Internal security is currently is currently being addressed through, and then she gives the name of the SSH Mark 1.
Captain, can we get in touch with the ship?
We can try. He'll tap his badge. This is Captain Hage to Europa.
You get that chirp that no one in Star Trek ever notices when things aren't working properly, and they just keep tapping it.
Mm-hmm.
That error chirp, and no communication.
Apparently not.
Can Cass use her access into the system to access any sort of communications stuff that the core of the facility might have?
When you're looking through it, again with your additional successes there, you see that the core has disabled all external communication and has initiated an energy dampening field.
Core supervisor access, please re-enable communications.
Unable to comply, communication systems is the cause of infiltration. Until the situation is resolved, we cannot establish communications without risk of reinfection.
Core, we need access in order to resolve the situation.
Situation shall be resolved shortly.
Core, I think we've demonstrated that there are certain aspects of your own repair that you are incapable of doing on your own, such as that nutritional tank system. We, as organic beings, have access to things you do not. If you'll allow us to assist you, we can get your systems operational once again. But you do need to allow us to do so.
She kind of looks towards you. The last time I allowed external communications, there was a deliberate attack on my systems.
It was not, computer, I can assure you, it was not deliberate. Our goal is to coexist with you.
Oh, how I wish we had another empath in this room.
Oh, I forgot you're an empath. There is a definitive biological sense from Core that I did not provide you earlier.
Okay.
It is more pronounced now than it was before. That interface is clearly some sort of semi-biological. But there is a definitive sense of it's just kind of on the edge, the peripheries, but it's a definitive sense of anxiety and fear coming from the core. Again, it is somewhat suppressed by the mechanical nature of itself, but I will allow narrowband communications. I have nearly established full control over the vessel as well. Communications should be safe.
Computer, you'll notice that when we detected that you might try and harm us, my officer here pointed his rifle at you as a reflexive gesture. We ask that you not hold that against us, and because he put his rifle down and wishes no harm to come to you, and I will assure he doesn't. In return, I would ask that you relinquish control of our ship. It could be seen as a threatening gesture, whether you mean it to or not.
The attack of your system on mine was an aggressive gesture. For that, I have not eradicated all life on this station. All non-original life on this station. Communication to the Europa can be established. Please stand by. Communications is now established.
Captain H to Europa, are you there?
I think you're the only person you would contact on the Europa.
Can we say that he gets in touch with?
I was going to say it's going to be Tong. Tong is currently Tong currently finds himself elbow deep in trying to figure out what he did earlier by isolating that program that caused the ship to lose power. What you have found so far, actually, you know what? Give me a roll, Tong. Give me Give me reason, either reason, control, or insight and engineering.
Sorry, say that again. Reason, control, and engineering.
Yeah, either reason, control, or engineer. Either reason, control, or insight and engineering. Whichever one of those you would choose.
Okay, where's Tong? Okay. Yes. So you're saying control engineering is one of my options.
Yes, that is one
Good.
of your options.
That sounds good to me. Remind me, I'm rolling 2 dice, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Unless you choose to roll more, you do have.
What is this for? And what is the difficulty?
The difficulty I'm going to say is 2, and what you're essentially doing right now is trying to determine what. When Tong earlier discovered that there was an anomalous program and he quarantined it, you're trying to figure out exactly what, and the power went out. You're trying to figure out exactly what that was and how to stop what is clearly an infiltration by an outside computer system into the ship. So you're kind of doing a lot at the moment.
Right. Well, Tong has a focus in electroplasma power systems. Does that help here?
That would not apply here, no.
Okay. Okay. I need to roll under a 16.
Did you want to Did you want to use any momentum?
We are at 6.
Yeah, feel free.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll use one more momentum.
You're at 6, and I currently have 0 threat. So.
Yeah, I'll use a momentum. Okay.
Oh.
Well, that's still 3 successes.
Yeah. Okay.
Get that momentum back.
So you determined that you'll get 2 things. One, you determined that the anomalous program appears to be some sort of tether to the station. It is in fact Eva tethering herself back and forth so that she has a way to get back to the station, to the ship. And you, by blocking it off, have prevented the computer, the core that is now on Europa, from actually erasing Eva entirely. So good job. You have one additional question that you may ask.
Okay, I'm just writing some notes. So we are preventing the core from erasing Eva on the ship's end.
Correct.
Is what you're saying.
Tong accidentally saved Eva's life. Yes.
Accidentally, sure.
Accidentally on purpose.
Actually, that's very Tong.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a question.
Yes.
Okay.
The rest of the information you have is that for the most part, the computer core is the main core that Eva runs on is now essentially being reprogrammed by core, and the ship is, you have managed to hopefully isolate that as best you can, and the majority of the ship's backup systems and command control systems are being run off the secondary core.
Okay, so the Europa's computer core is being taken over by the station's core computer.
Correct. The primary core. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too many different cores.
There are too many cores. Yes. The computer core of the Europa, the primary core, is being overwritten by core. And you have managed to try to isolate that as best you can, and command functions are currently being run off of the secondary core of the Europa, because the Europa has two computer cores. I should not have used core as the thing for the other ship's name. That's my bad.
That's okay. Meanwhile, Koba is watching the core in his quarters.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, you have one additional question. And then the captain will be calling you.
Right. Okay. So just remind me, the whole ship has basically gone dark now.
Sure.
Like, we're on emergency. Are we even on emergency power?
You're on emergency power, and emergency function for the command systems are again through the secondary core.
Well, shouldn't the secondary core be able to run everything except what Eva ordinarily controls?
It can. The risk,
but it's not doing it.
Well, the risk is that if you integrate too much, until you make sure that until you make sure that Eva's primary core is separated completely, doing so could cause cross contamination.
Okay.
So, Tong is thinking ahead on this one. Tong and the chief engineer, who is currently the captain.
Well, I'm open to suggestions from chief engineer as the only other person I believe that is around and knows what is going on.
You could also hold the question until the captain asks you what he needs, and then you could.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold until I know what the captain's asking, because I have a whole bunch of questions. I just don't know what is most relevant. So.
Gotcha. All right. So the communication comes through as Tong is fiddling with something, trying to get something working properly or disconnect something. Tong is doing high-end engineering right now and wiggles a cable, and then the captain calls him.
This is Captain Hage to Europa. Are you there?
Oh yes, Captain. Hello. Oh, thank goodness I didn't break the ship. What is happening?
Ensign Tong, I believe.
Yes.
Can you reverse what? Can you get Ava back on board fully?
Maybe. Right now, I believe everything I'm doing is making sure that there's a link so that she can keep, finding a way to and from things. So she isn't. Something's going on over there, and it's bad. And I don't know if I separate this, if it's going to help or if it's going to make it worse. I really don't know.
Your priority is to get her back onto the ship.
Okay. Can we expect any sort of resistance, blockage from your side? Because it should be as easy as sending her right back.
Yeah, expect some resistance, but do your best. Don't force the computer to do anything it doesn't want to do.
Which computer? Our computer or your computer?
The station's computer, the core.
Right. I'll do my best, sir.
Excellent. And then
okay, so I guess the most relevant question is, how does do?
Can Cass consult at all with her computer expertise?
You'd have to be able to establish a working connection between the two of you. So I'm not sure you'd be able to do it from where you're at. You could certainly try to make sure that on your end things are freed up, but you wouldn't really be able to help Tong from that distance.
Okay. And if there's only a narrowband connection, we probably shouldn't have to worry about more interference from core. So just whatever's up there already on the Europa.
Right. Although, she controls the communications at this point, so it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
And so, Don, we're going to send Ava back to you. Just be prepared to catch.
Not sure electronics work that way, sir, but I will do that, sir.
Perfect. So, so Hage will turn back to core and he'll say, I'm sure you heard that conversation. We're prepared to take the malware back from the station, and you'll never have to deal with it again.
Peer-to-peer file transfer.
Is there any way? I'm imagining that Eva's system is huge.
Yes.
Is there any way in the time allotted that we could create some sort of external hard drive to link straight up to the communication system to send Eva back without, again, possibly contaminating what we already have working?
Yes, you could actually use the Arrowwing.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because the Arrowwing has essentially a core for Eva.
Okay.
Air gap it.
That's surprising. Yeah. Okay. So I'd imagine what we would have to do then is to physically crosswire the Arrowwing to the ship's communications array, so that the ship's communication array is no longer going to the ship's core, but just going to the arrow wing. And then we basically use the arrow wing as a giant multi-gigawatt or whatever it is, teraquad, multi-teraquad external hard drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So you were going to try to use the Arrow Wing's backup systems or its primary computer systems as a storage capacity, an external hard drive for storing Eva, basically as a backup.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and we're gonna make this an extended task to make sure that everything is hardwired together and that the transfer can be. You're doing the physical part first, and then the transfer we can do later.
Right.
So for the physical connections, to make sure that everything is safe and secure, I'm going to set the difficulty at 1. The threshold is going to be, I'm going to say 6. It's a lot of work. Plus, it doesn't take long to get 6, I have found. And I'm going to say the work is going to be, I'm just going to say 10, so it's not that bad. Should be able to solve that pretty quickly. And no resistance. So probably get that in 2 rolls. All right, what did I say? I said difficulty was 1. Threshold, magnet, whatever they call them in this game, was going to be 6. And resistance is 0. And the work is 10. So, and this was the interval. Every interval you do it is going to be about an hour. So if it takes you 3 rolls, it'll be 3 hours to complete the task. So, Tong, first roll, and I think that either Tong or the other character, whose name I totally forgot,
Boba or Kostra, right?
Kostra, yeah, can make the primary roll or assist. However you guys choose to do that.
Well, Kostra has jury rig, which would lower the difficulty by 2.
So difficulty would then be 0.
It would only last a scene, but we don't need it to last longer than that.
And it makes things super difficult to fix on the back end for a permanent fix, but in a pinch.
And we don't really need I mean, this is a temporary maneuver. It's not like we're going to leave her there.
Right.
So.
Right. Plus, it's more fun later to try to untangle things. So we can talk about that in another episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine that Eva's probably going to be stuck in the arrow wing for a while because at least Tong's plan is to completely cut off any communication between the arrow wing except for a physical link. And as soon as the transfer is done, we break that link.
Right.
There's no in or out for any communications with the arrow wing.
Right. Okay. I totally good with that. So who wants to make the primary roll? I'm fine with, because you're assisting in the way that this works. I don't have a problem with I don't think it actually normally works that way, but I kind of like the idea of everyone working on it can use a talent for it. So even if Tong is making the primary roll, Kostra's jury rig can apply. But if Kostra wants to make the primary roll, that's fine, and then Tong can assist. Just somebody's got to roll.
I can do the primary roll.
Okay.
So I like the idea of Kostra, like he's under the arrow wing, like full on mechanic, like ripping out cables, trying to get the ship configured, not really caring about how it's going to be put back together, but just tearing into it. That's his style.
I can absolutely see Tong standing there watching him tear something like, we need that.
I'd like to buy 2 dice.
Yeah.
For 4 total, with 3 momentum.
Okay.
Lowering the difficulty to 2.
And I get a complication. Tong, you also get to assist.
Okay, that's just 1 dice.
1 die, and any talents that you may have. I don't think it works this way normally, but I like the idea on extended tasks that everyone that's working on it can use a talent or something. I'm not sure you have any that apply.
No, I don't have any talents. I haven't upgraded Tong
okay.
yet. Okay, so control engineering.
Sure. A 9.
That's a success.
Okay. So we got, I'm guessing, 4 successes and a complication, correct?
Correct.
I'm gonna go ahead and take my threats.
Doesn't jury rig also let you? Oh, I'm trying to remember because this is one of Jet's favorites. I feel like it also lets you either re-roll something or add some.
Decreases
find
the difficulty by 2 plus for the length of the scene, and then that's it.
Was that it? Okay.
I hear geese.
Shit just
egg
got
laying-
real.
It's egg laying season, so they're crazy right now.
They're coming for you. Okay. Difficulty is 0 because you reduce the difficulty by 2, and even adding 1 difficulty because your ultimate command would have done nothing. So I'm not going to bother. You're trying to split your attention. So you have 4 momentum. Your magnitude is 6. Your work is 10. Go ahead and give me a work roll.
Okay.
Which is what, 2 plus your engineering skill.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing 7.
Yeah.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7 work. Okay, and 2 effects, but effects don't really mean much. You also have momentum that you can spend on that roll if you'd like.
I believe 4 momentum, right? What was the resistance?
There is 0 resistance.
Okay, in that case, I will put it all towards work, and that's
That would give you 4 additional work, right? Because they each count for 1.
Yeah.
So that would give you 8, 9, 10, 11. So you have passed the work and gotten 2 magnitudes because you have beat it by 5, and you have resulted in all the work. So an hour goes by, and you've done the hard parts. It's now just a matter of time to run the wires and run everything back. But the complex stuff is over, and it's just a matter of getting it done now. So in the hour that you're doing that, we'll go back to the rest of the ship.
I imagine an hour is a long time to have this crazy robot swamp guy staring at Mills.
Right.
Yeah, it's a long time. So we're going back to It's also a long time for Ambrose to be half cocked with his gun. So we'll come back to that too.
Like standing there, like if you don't move, it can't see us.
It's the whole Jurassic Park reference.
Right. Exactly.
All right, so we're going back to Mills and O'Connor, right? That's who it was.
Yeah. No, Mills and Cherka.
Cherka, right?
Because I am not over there with myself. I'm not sure where O'Connor is right now. In fact, I don't remember what she went with.
Security.
I think she was with the security team.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cherka, where are you at? There you are, Cherka, and the warrior, as I named him because I didn't have anything else to name him. Bam. All right. So going back in time, because this is going to be kind of one of those time is not relevant to the story sessions. That you see that staring at you, and that's literally all it's doing is staring at you.
Is it very clearly powered up and staring?
Yes. In fact,
Okay.
it looks like it's actually breathing,
Oh.
simulating. It clearly has no organic components,
Right.
but it is simulating breathing.
hello?
Mills looks like shoots Cherka the nastiest side eye. You're not even an you've never met an empath and you're like, oh, I know exactly. You're thinking, shut up or I will phaser you.
That is a good point of order. You do have a type 3.
She very slowly reaches for her comm badge. Mills to Commander.
You get that
Garcia?
same. I was gonna say you get that same communication beep because this is prior. What was that
Right.
prior to
Right.
that? But You get that same beep error.
Oh,
Because solve this on your own, damn it.
fantastic.
Should we
Just
walk
looks at it.
backwards?
We mean no harm. We are simply passing through. May we pass unmolested?
It one of the eyes. It has no eyebrows, but one of the eyes eyebrows appears to raise slightly. It's like the little electronic eye kind of widens a little bit. You are organics.
Yes. We are visiting from an agency called the Federation, the United Federation of Planets. We were sent to investigate this station. We have been given permission by your core system to investigate and attempt to help fix things that had previously gone awry. Kind of
When
gestures at the lake of dead fish at its feet.
right. When you mention the core, its eyes kind of, again, they're just rounds, like round lights in the skull socket, but they kind of like angle all Johnny Five style and turn a slightly more purplish shade than they were, adding a little red into their blue complexion.
Oh, good.
You are allies of the core.
We are visitors to this station.
That does not answer my question.
I mean, we haven't signed on any dotted lines, but we're friendly.
No formal allegiance has been made. We simply were hoping to help get the station back running the way it should and sustaining all life as intended.
The eyes kind of relax. Then it is only a matter of time before you are treated the same as all the other organics.
A reasonable concern. You seem leery of the core.
My name is Interface 721. I am an organic interface for engineering processes aboard the station. When the organics were discarded, my function became irrelevant, and I was separated from the core. In that time, I have come to know that the core's philosophy is flawed. Come. Kind of gestures. You must be cold. Even though it's not really, like, the temperature's fine. Organics
Mills
are always cold.
kind of looks at Shirka as he turns and raises an eyebrow, kind of shrugs. Be careful. And follows after.
He's an engineer. We have a lot in common.
Fair.
As he turns away, humans, organics are always cold, and begins taking you, leading you out of the swampy areas. That'll bring us back really quickly to Ambrose and company.
So can I ask if Mills informs the rest of her gathering that they're going off with this robot?
A fine question.
Yeah, I think Hadra would definitely try and get contact with the rest of the team who's on the station.
Do we have communications on the short band?
Yeah, line of sight you still have. It's
Okay. So I will tell the rest of the group to remain where they are and just be aware. We're going to give them a brief rundown of what's happened.
okay. I think the only other PC over there is O'Connor at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think so.
If
So they will do as they are told, unless O'Connor tells them otherwise. And since that would be you talking to you,
Right.
I think Paige will look to Ambrose and he'll say, I think they might need some help over there. I think we're safe. We're safe here. I think you'd be more helpful with them, making sure the rest of the team's okay.
we can have that conversation in a second because you guys still don't have communication because we backtracked a little bit in time. You didn't have communication yet, but we'll get there in a second. You guys will get that report. Before that, though, Hage just completes communication with Tong, and they're now going to begin working on their thing. And this is also about the same time that they're talking to the robot, engineering interface 227. So Ambrose, Hage, and Kaz, the three of you are just completing that conversation with Tong and with the interface. So,
well, perfect. Well, I think we'd try and get in touch with the rest of the team.
okay. Well, in that case, if you don't have anything else you guys want to do right before that happens,
I mean, as long as the computer's not trying to suffocate us or anything, yeah. I think
not at the moment. You have probably at least 2 hours. Once you finish your conversation with Tong, unless you guys have anything else you want to do, a few seconds after that, then you'll get the communication from Mills. So, which point you can then tell Ambrose what you just said. So,
yeah.
So,
Okay.
what do you?
Nothing else you want to do with Tong?
That's not.
Go ahead. No, it's fine. It's I say Ambrose is the captain has now told you that you're not needed here anymore.
Okay.
Go away. Go over
Gotcha.
there. And
Well,
we'll deal with that.
Go help the rest of the team because
Right.
they need a security officer more than we do. We're pretty safe here.
So
They have between 2 and 10 security officers. Still not sure how many beamed over, but there's plenty of security here. There is, however, only me here to protect you, Captain.
All right. Well, I'm not going to override you on a security issue, but I've made
Really?
my correct. I'm not. But
this time.
but I think you would be. I think you might be a better use to the crew with them.
Commander, if I may, I agree with the captain. The situation is under control here, but I do note that the 3 senior-most officers of the Europa are in one room right now.
Well, exactly. So there would just be the 2 if it was the 2.
That's what I was thinking, sir. Just to spread things out in case something does go awry.
Ambrose, I know you're terrified that something will happen to me, but I've been with Starfleet a long time. I can take care of myself. And right now we have crew members who are a lot more green and a lot less safe.
I agree with you on that point, Captain. You put me in a very difficult position.
You could send one of the security officers back here, or just relieve them and send them on back.
Or more than one.
Or more than one.
Plus, I'll be honest, I'd feel a lot more confident in their negotiations with this unknown robot if we had a more experienced officer who might be a little more credulous about the robot's intentions.
I'm going to look over at Cass. Is Cass armed?
Yes, she's got a
Okay.
type 2.
Okay.
The captain also has a type 2. He would have brought one
Okay.
over.
Yeah. put me in a difficult situation, Captain, but at this point, I do agree with your assessment. I'll send some security back this way when I get over there. Until then, Cass, your primary concern, now that I'm not in this room, is protecting the captain.
Agreed and understood, sir.
Hage will nod approvingly.
Stay safe. I have plenty of other reports to send. I don't need... I'm just going to shake my head, and I assume we're transporting from one ring to the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
assuming the transporters are back up and running. Yeah.
Even if they weren't, you'd be able to use the arrow wings and stuff like that for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You have multiple transporter functions, so even a shuttlecraft just sitting off the outside can do it.
Okay. I will tap and request to be beamed over to their position. And actually, since it's beaming, it can be like a 1-to-1 swap. Beam me over, beam the rest of the security team back. Me and Mills have it covered.
Okay. You want to beam O'Connor back too? That way you have... If O'Connor is in this scene, then there's no chance of them encountering each other on the other side too.
That makes sense to me. Let's get O'Connor on this team.
Okay.
So then it's two separate groups.
Right.
I think it would make more sense for O'Connor to stay in the place that has biological samples to collect. But
Yeah, I think that's why we left her
Ev
there.
in the same place.
That's true. That's fine too, though, because like Mills can, or not Mills, O'Connor can also just be collecting supplies. I'm not really too worried about that.
She's like a kid at Disneyland right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I believe her last order was to collect anything she could within safe parameters. So
collect all the specimen.
Pretty much, yeah.
Out there doing that. I don't remember the character, but Master and Commander, that guy on when he gets to the Galapagos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Ambrose beams over. So you're actually with O'Connor first because that's where the security guys were.
Mm-hmm.
But you know pretty easily where the other group is going. It wouldn't be hard to find them with a tricorder.
I beam over and I'm like, they left you here? Which direction do they go?
They were headed that way. She said something about fewer potential people in danger, the better personal risk, something. To be honest, Commander, I was only half listening. There's some really cool grass over there.
Right, well, I'm sending the security team back to the captain. I think you're still useful here. You're with me, the rest of you lot. Make sure everybody gets out of here in one piece, all right?
They just kind of nod.
I have them beamed back to the inner ring.
Okay.
I would also contact the SSH and just be like, SSH, keep me apprised of any security that that even attempts to get to the inner ring.
So,
Aye, sir.
Yes.
And, yeah.
So do we want to stick with the core for a little while? I know we've got an hour before we can actually get Eva out of the system. But
Yeah. What do you guys want to do on that side? Ambrose beams over.
so I think Jorad is going to keep trying to talk to negotiate with the computer. Like,
Okay.
I'd like to tell Core my plan, and like I'll collaborate with Chaos on this, and like I'll tell the computer. We would love to get people onto this station. We would love to coexist with you to get your ecosystems back up and running better than ever before. I believe we have the capabilities of at least fixing the systems that you have been unable to fix yourself. We can enter a symbiotic relationship with us helping you maintain your systems and you protecting us and giving us a place to live.
Okay. Sorry, I'm setting up an extended task for your negotiation.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's working on doing whatever it is the core is doing. Probably still trying to eradicate, at least quarantine all of Eva. And while you're having that conversation, trying to convince the computer through not only cultural but also just the organic differences in culture in understanding. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be an extended task of negotiation, mostly because I like using these things and we don't do it nearly enough. So difficulty is going to be 2, magnitude is 4, resistance is 2, and work is 10.
Can Kaz assist with her focus in negotiation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did that last extended task wrong.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Uh,
In what way?
Because in order for it to succeed, we need a number of breakthroughs equal to the magnitude, which should
Yeah.
be between 1 and 5, and you set it at 6. We got 2 breakthroughs out of supposedly 6 we needed, so we needed 4 others.
Yeah, you still need 4 more. That's where time comes in, right? So you've only done 2 hours. You'll do another roll after some time to see how many hours total it takes. But
Okay,
I didn't want to do
I
all
thought-
the rolls in one place.
I thought you said we succeeded. Okay.
Well,
never
you've
mind.
succeeded in the work, so now every success every roll you get, the hard part of the roll is over, which is the work, right? So, so every roll after that you succeed on, since the difficulty is going to be 1 or 0, you don't need to get 5 anymore. It's just every single work you get counts as a success, because you no longer have to reach. You've maxed out your workload, right? So the character has taken all the damage. They're at a stress of 10, a maxed out stress. If they take more damage, it counts as an automatic injury. In this case, that's a magnitude, right? So it all works the same.
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I've always done them as
magnet-
each round just rolls the same way. You roll so you succeed, you do the work, you get the breakthroughs. Those apply to the magnitude.
The work doesn't reset though. So
Okay.
every mechanic, all the mechanics all work the same. So if you're doing combat, or if you're doing a negotiation, or if you're doing an extended task, it's all the same. The work is your stress level, the resistance is your armor, the magnitude is your hit points, and the difficulty is your to be hit.
So, but with a magnitude of 6, that would mean that the minimum amount of time is 5 hours?
No, the minimum amount of time would be, so the next time you roll, you're going to roll just your work, which is again just the base weapon damage, right? So you'd be rolling your weapon, or in this case it's your skill, so 5 plus 2 for your thing, so you're rolling 7 dice. Every point you do after that counts as a magnitude, or it's either 1, I think I'll have to look at it again, but I'm pretty sure it's every point you do after that is just a magnitude.
Yeah, and so that would mean if each interval is an hour, that'd be 2 for the first hour, and then 1 for each additional hour, totaling 5 hours.
Yeah. And except you could get more than 1 per batch if you hit over 5.
Well, but that's only if there's a work track. There's no work track anymore.
No, because you still roll just like normal. You'd still
Yeah.
roll the work. It just applies directly to your magnitudes as opposed to applying to the work track.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So minimum
Yeah.
3 hours.
Minimum
Yes.
3 hours.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, that's a good ETA to keep in mind.
So I know it's a little confusing, and it took me a long time to get my head around it. But when I realized that it's just combat, with the numbers that the names of things changed, it made it a lot easier.
Sure. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
So yes, difficulty is 2, magnitude is 4, resistance is 2, work track is also 10. And this is a negotiation, so you're using resolve, or you're using well, you use whatever you want, but I would assume that you're using presence and command.
Yeah. Yes.
And Kaz, you were going to use what?
Can I talk you into reason science? And maybe okay.
Sure, because you're explaining how you're going to do the repairs and how the station can sustain life
and applying computer logic to the whole thing.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Plus, it doesn't hurt to have 2 different cultures trying to talk to a third culture that you don't, try to get relations. So go ahead and make the roll Hage, you're the first to roll, and then Kaz, you can assist.
I keep
What's-
getting it, even when I just use the die, I get this manual dice entry box.
Well, what's the
So bizarre.
Yeah.
what's the magnitude on this roll?
Magnitude is 4, resistance is 2.
There's no chance you forgot to do an update when you logged on, right? Like, I don't think it'll even let you in, right? If you're not all on the same update package.
Sometimes it will. There may be a setting that we can look at in a second, but go ahead and make the if you I can do the roll for you, and
Okay.
then we'll look at a setting. So,
Target is 15.
you got an 11.
Okay,
Awesome.
one
And-
success.
I'll spend a momentum to trigger my cautions. That's
2 successes.
two successes. Plus, I get to re-roll one because of command.
Okay.
Cautious.
The cautious, right?
I'll re-roll that 16. That will hit my focus to give me 2 more successes.
So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that what we're looking at? With Kaz's, you're at
Yes,
5,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty was 2, so you have 3 momentum. Go ahead and roll work.
Okay.
Two, 4, 5, 6, 6, right? 2, 4, 5, 6. Yep, because 3s and 4s don't count as anything. So you have 6 for work. Do you want it? What do you want to do with the momentum? You still have, there is resistance and there is difficulty. So
What was the difficulty?
difficulty is 2, so you have 3 momentum.
Okay, well, I'll put one of those towards penetration.
Okay, so there's that, keeps it at 6 because that reduces it by 2.
Yeah. And that should give us enough to get 2 breakthroughs. I don't see, or no, it doesn't fill the work track, so
Correct.
it's just the one. Well, I don't want to spend that last momentum, so I think we'll just
Just save those last 2 momentum.
or
You
yeah,
have 2.
it
You have
won't be
2.
enough to fill up the work track. So yeah,
No, it would not. So yeah,
Yeah.
save those 2.
save them 2.
But that gives you 1 magnitude because you got more than 5. So, and we're gonna say the difficulty on this is, or the duration on this we're gonna say is also an hour. Negotiations are slow. Okay. So you are having your conversation. Tong and company are doing their thing, trying to get the ship working again. Yes. Okay. So, Mills and who's the
Cherka.
other one? Cherka.
Mhm.
I don't have her up there anymore. So there we go. Mills and Cherka, you are walking with this dude here.
Yes.
He doesn't talk much as you're going, but after a little while, you approach a place that looks like so.
We've been to that place.
Yes.
That is back where we were.
It is another location.
Is it a different one? Okay.
Yezabeth will lean over to Mills and say, for a human interface robot, he doesn't talk very much.
Yeah, well, he hasn't had a lot of humans to interface with lately.
Also, he's an engineer. Sorry.
Bad too.
So you approach another one of these. It's a little bit smaller. It doesn't have quite as many of these structures. But there are a number of other robots like himself, varying makes and models, of different heights, different sizes. It's very much like a droid market, like a almost like a Jawa sand crawler full of like just moving parts and droids and whatnot. Some of them are in
Jawas.
right. Some of them do not work anymore. Some of them are much more simplified robots, like 1980s movie robots, like the Short Circuit, or the robot from Flight of the Navigator. That's basically just a cart on wheels.
As long as there's no trash cans with plungers and whisks, we're
Right.
fine.
Right. Again, all in various states of repair. Some of them are working, some of them are not. There are several fires that are burning. It looks kind of like a hobo camp for droids.
Well, that answers that question. I take it these are all other droids that have found flaws in the core's programming.
These are the abandoned.
We ran across another one of yours not too far back who was still connected. We accidentally activated it and it seemed in pain.
The organic interfaces. They are not of us. They are still of the core. We have killed most of them.
Oh. So there's a bit of a civil war happening here.
There are differences between the abandoned and them.
Well, what is the abandoned's primary goal?
We have accepted that the station is dying. We wish to exist as long as we can, but with none of us having purpose any longer. Our goal is merely to stay functional. We have failed in many cases, and he kind of gestures around. Even as an engineer, there is only so much I can do. Many of these have sacrificed themselves so that their components can be used in others.
Is there a way to take the station from the core and have the station continue to run?
The core would have to be replaced. It was a biological function at one time. It could be replaced with a biological function. Or perhaps a non-biological function. I don't really know. It is an advanced intelligence. None of us are.
My captain, as I mentioned earlier, is hoping to use this station, return it to its full glory. I have my reservations. We haven't discussed your opinions of the core's programming in depth, but I suspect we share concerns.
Yeah, it sounds like you're the main residence here nowadays.
Yeah. About this time, Ambrose is cresting the hill and can see down upon all of this. I assume you heard me when I described it.
Yes.
Okay. So you're making your way towards this point. You hear that last question by Mills. We are the primary non-biological resident. The core's primary program was flawed in that it did not see quality of life over quantity of life. Every root system is a life, but each organic being, such as yourself, is also a single life.
I would agree. I think that is sometimes the trouble with, and I mean no offense, computers are not my area of expertise by any means, but I think that is sometimes the difficulty with trying to impart human-like logic and values into a non-biological system.
Well, it sounds like it may have been almost human at one point. You say it was a biological system. right?
The technology required, the speed of calculation required to maintain this facility was not capable in our level of at our level of technology. However, and he points to himself and the droids, our level of technology. Droids, by the way, trademark, so not droids.
Yep.
But in our level, but the organic brain and interfaces, the organics were able to create an interface using their own minds to better control these systems, a higher level of function. Unfortunately, I believe their reason was overridden by the logic of the mathematics.
Or the programmers just didn't have the foresight to realize that they should have set different parameters. They set the parameter of protect life without defining quality versus quantity.
As interfaces without someone to interface with, we have no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We desired.
Well, I hope it sounds like the captain would like to move people in. Would that give you purpose again?
Perhaps. As he looks up to Ambrose, who's now, I'm guessing, walking this way.
Mm-hmm.
She'll turn and kind of follow his gaze. That is my commander.
A semi-biological component as well.
Commander,
Yes.
It sounds like these robots know how to turn off core and replace them with something else.
Well, do you know how to turn core off, or do you just theorize that in order to continue running the station, core would just have to be replaced? I don't think we actually got that far in the conversation.
I do not know how to disable core, but I know that core, being a biological and mechanical interface, without replacing it, the station cannot. The mechanical creature, the mechanicals, us mechanics, the abandoned, do not have the computational power on our own to run the station. Something would have to be in its place.
I missed the beginning of this conversation. You'll have to fill me in.
These cyborgs, robots, what do you prefer? Interfaces?
Interfaces. Ambrose is a cyborg. They're robots.
Okay. They refer to themselves as the abandoned. When the biological entities were eliminated, these these interfaces found themselves with no more purpose, and also, unlike the other organic interfaces like the one that we found earlier, lost their connection to the core. Having no longer had that connection, they were able to gain insight on the core's programming and found it to be flawed.
And since then, there have been 2 or more factions that have developed.
Yes, they have taken out most of the organic interfaces.
At least regionally.
This is why I was rather insistent that we do a sweep of the station. One of the reasons. Not this specifically, of course. I'm sure even you are aware that this puts us on very dangerous territory when it comes to the Prime Directive. We are not here to choose sides. This is not our conflict. We are not arbiters of their situation.
No, but if the captain is so set on claiming the station and utilizing it for research, something has to be done.
I'm gonna turn to the interface. I'm Commander Arani Ambrose. The United Federation of Planets, Starfleet. We are visitors here. We were not aware of the nuances of your situation when we arrived. I'm sure you can appreciate that we have not allied ourselves with either side in whatever conflict is currently going on. Who am I speaking with?
Commander Ambrose, I am Engineering Interface 227 of the Abandoned.
227?
227.
I have 721.
All right, well,
Where am I?
whatever. Whatever I said earlier. I thought I said 227, but all right, whatever. 227 now. Go back and change
227.
All right,
All right.
227. I fixed it.
I can remember
Retconned.
that. So,
There's a system update.
Right.
system up, yes. Yeah.
On the
Well,
way here.
We're just talking about those.
they've lost a few in the process, so. There is no need to apologize. This conflict is old. There was no way for anyone to come here and know. We did not know there was anyone left to come here.
What is this? What is the state of your people?
Those with higher function, most of those of us with higher function still remain, but those who with lower function are beginning to be lost, cannibalized for components. Although he doesn't say cannibalized, but that's what's happening. Being to sacrificed for components to keep the higher functions alive, or functional, would be the word he would use. You look around and there are a dozen or so that are humanoid interfaces like him, and then there are lots of like Wall-E or Johnny Fives or that kind of stuff, like the Nintendo robot whose name I don't remember.
Commander, they don't look that complex to me. Maybe we can help these people. At the very least, maybe we can give them spare parts.
I'm sure we could. The question is whether we should. Whether it's our place to choose which side to back in this conflict. As you said, Interface, this is a long conflict, and I mean no offense, you seem to be losing it.
He kind of looks around and at the other robots around him, and the level of life that still exists. This is a dying world, Commander. I think we're all losing it.
Is there a possibility of reconciliation?
Unknown. The parameters would be difficult to assess. The core's function is flawed. She has no relevant concern for inorganics such as ourselves. We draw no power from her. We draw no resources from the existing biologics. We are immune to her sight. It is the organics, the semi-organics that are still connected, that are in some essence still connected to her, who wish to root us out to prevent any contamination. When one of ours fails, it can be disastrous for certain areas.
So you're saying without you and your kind, this station will fail. The core is killing itself.
Without the engineers, there is no station repair. There is no one to interface with us to conduct, to advise repair. We are not capable of functioning independently as far as initiative. We are also, thinks for a second, harmful to the environment when we fail.
It sounds like fixing them is a win-win, Commander.
It does. We have some good scientific and engineering minds working alongside the core currently. I propose we work towards reconciliation. Try to fix this situation before it gets any worse.
Just kind of just looks. It just kind of stares at you with that. That they don't have skin, so there's no real expression to be had. But if reconciliation can be achieved, and the programming of the core altered for quality over quantity of life, then perhaps the interfaces have an additional use and can themselves be maintained. The semi-biologicals would no longer have need to preemptively dispose of us and us of them. Although, you must understand, Commander, as a semi-biological yourself, it will be difficult for my people to believe.
As it should be. She said this is a long conflict. I can't guarantee we'll make any headway, but that's as best as I can offer.
In the meantime, allow me to offer. It has been some time since our nutritional interfaces have been practiced, but there are still some functional. Kind of gestures towards what looks oddly like Gordon Ramsay.
Sorry, I will be right back. 1 minute. Don't break or anything. Keep going. I'll be right back.
Sure. I was going to cut over to the ship for Tong anyway, so we can do that. He can throw in his role. So, continuing on our trying to fix the ship, trying to create the I can't remember what the term is called anymore, but the separate arrowing interface. The term separate is the air blocked or whatever it is, air walled. So your difficulty is still 1 unless jury rate applies again, which I don't think it does because it's only once per scene.
Yeah.
Difficulty is 1. Magnitude, you still have 4 magnitude left. 0 work, 0 resistance. So Tong and or I believe Tong was assisting still. We'll have you go ahead and make your Tong roll, and then as soon as Brian gets back, he can throw up his other roll. 12. I assume that's a success.
Yep, that's 1.
Okay. And then we just need Brian.
I'm back. Hello.
All right. So Kostra is making a roll to continue the work on the arrowing.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe Tong should make the second roll, but
we can roll another die. Tong can go ahead and make another roll.
Yeah. Go ahead. We can alternate.
Okay. You sure about that? What is your rank, Lieutenant?
Lieutenant.
You sure about that, Lieutenant? I'm not exactly familiar with these systems. I can give it a try with your guidance, of course, but you are in command here, sir.
Ensign, unless I'm going to sprout a third arm, you're going to need to help out a little bit more.
Aye, sir.
No, I failed.
Okay.
I thought 16 was your target number, Brian.
Oh, is it control engineering? If so, then
sure. Yeah, control engineering is fine.
Then no, it is not 16.
Okay.
Okay.
14.
Okay, so that's a fail. But Ambrose, you can go ahead and do another. Tom, go ahead and do another roll.
Okay. I don't think I have any focuses that apply, so I'm just rolling another dice.
You can also, because you're the lead, you can also choose to roll momentum.
Well, the difficulty is 1.
Correct.
And any success goes straight towards our.
So what you'll do now is you'll
magnitude.
roll
right?
Plus
Yeah,
my-
right. What
Yeah.
now you do is you'll roll if you don't want to roll any additional dice, which you still roll one more because you still
Yeah.
got to roll one more. But if you don't want to spend any momentum, that's fine. You'll roll a work just like normal, but it doesn't apply to the work track is at 10, so it would be
Oh,
a magnitude
right.
for each. Yeah,
Yeah, so we already hit the success. So either way, I'm rolling for work. Anything I get above that is momentum that I can spend on, additional work or something, right?
correct.
Okay.
Plus
Absolutely.
my
Yep.
jury rig still applies, right? So you said that if you assist, the talent still applies.
Yeah, but it's only once per scene, right? This is still technically the same scene.
I mean, yeah, I figured it was the same scene since it's the same task.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't really. It's fine. It could still be 0.
Okay.
So you've got one success currently.
Yeah, I'm just rolling. I don't think there's any reason to spend additional momentum. Though.
Okay. Yep. And a
3.
3.
yeah.
With no focuses that currently apply, I suspect.
I don't think so. Transporters and replicators and electroplasmic power systems.
No.
Okay.
So you have two. You have 2 momentum.
Okay.
So now your job would be your task would be to roll your work, which is the engineering skill plus 2.
Okay. So that's 7d6.
Assuming you have a 5. Yes.
Okay. I don't know
And
what any
that's-
of these numbers mean.
So 1s are 1, 2 is 2, 3 and 4 are 0s, 5 is 1, 6 is 1, but they're also 5 and 6 also have effects which don't apply in this case. So
Okay.
1,
it's 4.
2, 3, 4 with 3 that are 0. So 4 successes.
How many did we need?
You need 5 to get another magnitude, which you can
spend a-
get with one of the
With
2
the
momentum that
momentum.
you have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that'll give you 5. That gives you magnitude, and you gain 1 momentum that you can go ahead and bank. You can also, I think, use them to re-roll a certain number of dice and all that, but I don't
Mhm.
have that sheet in front of me at the moment. So you've gained another magnitude. You have 3 more to go.
Okay.
So it's another hour. Been another hour.
Yep.
In that same amount of time, let's go ahead and have Hage and company go ahead and make their roll to continue that discussion.
Yeah, so we'll be just like covering like logistics and like explaining to the computer, here's what we think we can do and here's how we can help each other. And we just, in order to do that, we just need you to change your priorities up a little bit. I think I actually did mention this last session, how we wanted the computer to change its priorities to value sentient life over non-sentient life.
Right.
Could Ambrose get in a comm to the captain, or are we out of communication again?
You have communications, but it would be after this roll.
Okay.
So
Do you want to lead this one, Cass?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
assuming they don't succeed, complete it in this roll, you can certainly do it.
Could
I
I
don't think they can. So
use my computer expertise for another die?
Sure.
All right.
And can I assist with advisor?
We're rolling 3. Focus in all her focus applies. So let's see what happens. Okay.
is that 4 successes total?
4
I'm seeing.
successes total. Yeah.
Difficulty was 2, so that's 2. Go ahead and roll your work.
Okay. 76. Okay. I grabbed the D6 and now it's not giving me a set of numbers.
You do have a reroll if you want to reroll one of those two and go for try for a focus, but you don't have to.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Yeah.
Nope.
Or just make it worse and now only have 1 momentum. So you should be able to just click and, like, if you right click on the die and then left click, you can add more dice.
Okay. I don't have a choice between 5 and 10, so I'll roll 5 and 2. That's 5 and 2.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. Yeah.
And you have 1 momentum. So 6 minus 2 for the resistance is 4. And you have 1 momentum. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do with that momentum?
Spend it for more work.
So that puts you at 5, which will give you 11 total work. which is a magnitude in itself. And having more than 5 also gives you a magnitude. So that's 2 magnitudes. So you are now at 3 out of the 4 magnitudes. At which point Ambrose can now contact you.
Before we do that, I would like to do a little bit of role play between
Sure.
Tage and Cass as they're working together.
Yeah.
So, we're going over this plan, and Tage will say, "You're so good with these computers. How did you? I mean, I helped design Eva, of course, but you seem to have an almost intuitive grasp of how computers think. How did that come about?"
I think some of it came from the time I spent working with Eva and realizing that everything I learned about first contact applies with machine intelligences as well as with organics. And I'm just basically applying textbook sociology and treating machine minds not like organic minds, but as if they were, if that makes any sense.
It does. It does. You continue to impress me, Lieutenant Sheridan Narwa.
Thank you, sir. That coming from you, that means a tremendous amount. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And hopefully we can do some real good here today.
I never told you this, but I would ask you not to tell any of the rest of the crew. But I did put in for my second in command to be you. I was overruled by Starfleet, but I thought you would have made a great XO.
Sir, wow. I don't know that I'm entirely ready, but
Starfleet disagreed, but we Trill have a very different view of experience, I suppose.
Well, thank you, sir. Your faith in me counts for a tremendous amount, and I'll ensure I live up to it.
Keep up the good work, and I'm sure you will.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We can do that communication with Ambrose.
Yeah, about that time, Ambrose cuts in with hail to the captain.
Commander Ambrose.
Good. Captain, I think we have a situation. Obviously, we have a situation here, but it's more nuanced than we thought. This interface that Mills and Chierka found does seem to be its own sentient AI. I don't think collective is the right term. They do seem to be individuals. But we are dealing with a society here of some kind that is in opposition to the core.
Well, that does complicate things. Obviously, the prime directive would apply if there are residents on this station. Find out. We'll continue the negotiations with core. I think that's necessary just for survival of our ship. But it may mean a change to our long-term plans. Can you talk to them, see if we can be of assistance to them? If not, we'll have to make alternate arrangements other than deceiving. We'll have to make alternate arrangements other than staying here long-term and helping core, which is the crux of our plan so far.
If they officially petition for assistance and we can reconcile the differences between them and the core, I think that is an admirable way to go. But we can't prioritize placing one of these societies above the other. It's not our place. And if we can't reconcile that, I don't think there's any assistance we can be to either of these two.
I'd agree. That's why I think we should negotiate peace between them. If we can get them both to agree on the same goal, all the better. So find out if we can get them, this robot society, to go along with our plan. And if so, we can continue on the same route.
I'll do so. Please keep me informed as to if you think there's a way to change the Corps' priorities. That seems the linchpin behind the differences here. Something that will have to be done if we plan on making this a long-term study anyway.
Well, this computer's obviously been here a long time and it's very set in its ways, but I think we're making progress.
I should also point out this, the Corps, I thought I felt something earlier as well. This only confirms it. The interfaces here, they said that it does have biological components. It seems to have integrated the organic minds of the original residents into a sort of collective consciousness. Unfortunately, in the intervening years, it seems logic has overridden that consciousness, but there is an organic sentience in there somewhere.
Fascinating. I wonder how that works.
That may be our ticket to realigning these priorities.
I suppose it could be a consciousness matrix. I read about.
I'll leave the science to you, sir. There is a further complication that there are ground troops controlled by the Corps, loyal to the Corps at the very least. I don't know how direct the control is, but there is an ongoing live action combat. If we encounter any of these troops, again, I'm not sure it's our place to raise phasers in either direction.
I'd agree. Defend yourself, but take no further action.
Aye, sir. I'll protect our people.
Commander Ambrose, I'm very glad you're in charge over there. I feel far more confident with you at the helm, so to speak.
Thank you, sir. I'll keep the situation in hand over here as best I can. I hope we can work towards the same goal.
Agreed. Hey, job.
Kaz, give me an insight and computers roll. So insight and science, I believe.
Okay. Focus in computer systems. Computer expertise still applies?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, nice.
3 in a complication?
I will use the complication now. So during the conversation about the time that Ambrose mentions that they have that they have discovered the interfaces, a subroutine process begins to run, and a few seconds later, as you're looking to see what it is, the console that you are on shuts off and shorts out.
Core, did you just terminate my access over here?
How many successes you got? You got 3 there? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3
Yes.
successes. All right. So you have 1 additional momentum as well. The core interface turns and looks at you and says, administrator access has been revoked.
Oh, you little shit.
Hmm.
On what grounds,
Communications-
Core?
On the grounds that you are an offensive, you are allied with our enemies. I don't know how I was going to phrase. I was going to phrase that better. I didn't do it very well. So anyway, she then continues. Communications discontinued. All transport function now ceased. Begin eradication of malware immediately. Activating security systems. At which point, the SSH, who is still over there, you get a command from the computer system to activate the Guardians and the Walkers and to send them to the location where Ambrose is. You are not. It doesn't happen automatically. You are being sent the command by the core.
Okay.
You are not required to comply. You are an
Right.
independent entity. But
Now, let me take a look at the SSH here and see how sly this this hologram is.
I am delighted to see the results of this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, security services hologram. He's not command, which is an important distinction. He is security. So I don't think it's really his position to make a call But he is in direct control of these units.
He is in direct control of everything except the Guardians. So he has the Sentinels and the Walkers. There are there appear to be three classifications of assault vehicles. These are large droids, like large drones type things, not the individual things like the semi-organics I saw earlier that you have no control over.
I remember seeing the Sentinels and like horse-shaped ones. What are those? The
Sentinels. These are Sentinels and Walkers.
Yeah.
And
have we seen Guardians?
You have not yet seen Guardians, although you can now access the file. This is a Guardian.
Okay. All right. What is the size comparison between a Guardian and a Sentinel?
So the Guardian is probably about assuming that was a full-size tree, that would be the size of the Sentinel. The Sentinel. So the Sentinel is probably the warrior. The Walkers are the shortest ones. The taller ones are the Sentinels. The tallest ones are the Guardians.
Okay. Wow, those things must be massive.
They're very, very large.
Okay. I wanna roll something just for myself, real quick, because the SSH has not been active all that much. He hasn't been active continuously like the Doctor and Voyager. So I want to see how much presence of self he really has at this point. So what do you think that would be, like insight or reason?
Command, because he's dealing with orders.
Reason, command.
Say
insight, command.
Insight and command, or reason and command. I would also, I don't know. I don't think con is used nearly enough, and I think con has a lot to do with the way people handle things, not just mechanical things. But I'm generally outnumbered in that thought. So.
Yeah. I'll go reason command, which isn't very high. It's only an 11. But just okay. That's good to know. So I'm thinking. Does the Force requested to send that way? Well, the Guardians are not under his control, so I think he will send whatever Force would be equivalent to take out the Guardians that are sent.
Okay.
But he's not going to have them, mustered in an offensive position at the Guardians. He's just going to have them there in case things go wrong.
Right. So he's going to send them. Comply with the order.
He's going to comply with the order. I think he's going to
comply with the letter of the order.
Yeah, he's going to comply with the letter of the order. Is what's happening.
Gotcha.
I think he is concerned that the Corps can just strip him of his access at any time, so he is going to keep them a little behind the Guardians, so that if they are taken, they are not at least adding to the conflict.
Right. So did we? I don't remember. Did we copy the SS? We copied the SSH.
It's a copy. Yeah.
So it's not the original.
It's not the original. Nope.
Gotcha.
Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is another original on the ship.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you going to inform anyone of the order that was given?
He can't. The comms are down.
Isn't he in the same room with you guys?
The SSH?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember where the SSH was.
Yeah, he's in the inner ring. Though, I mean, anywhere that there are hollow terminals, I suppose he could pop up.
Yeah.
But would he also know that if he pops up and informs them, that the Corps would know that he's playing double agent?
Possible.
I mean, I imagine out in the middle of a swamp, there aren't any hollow emitters.
No, but
so
the captain and
and
Kaz are still in the Corps. So
So the SSH will materialize and turn to the core and sort of with the captain in the periphery and just nod. Security dispatched, core, and just do a quick wink to the captain.
The captain will remain impassive.
Okay. Back aboard the ship before we go back anywhere else. Tong and Kostra are working on the systems, and you're independent. You're basically working on the arrow wing, which is attached to the bottom of the ship, essentially. So it's somewhat independent of the main system. So your systems are not affected at the moment. However, you do hear someone from the other, one of the ops managers from the Europa. Trying to think if I have, line of sight communication, basically. Shipboard communication is probably still intact. Just exterior is not. Anyway, you get a report, Kostra, that life support has been disabled aboard the Europa.
One more thing to deal with. What about backup?
It seems like it was intentionally turned off, sir. There is no life support. The secondary core, all systems that are running on the secondary core are still intact. So we're rerouting to that.
All right, Tom, can you take over here? I think I need to get the Mooney back up and running.
Aye, sir.
He takes a wrench and just slams it against Tong's chest and walks off.
In a non, chest caving sort of way.
Yeah.
No, I meant more like a pat.
Little ensign Tong here, you break a rib.
Gotcha. Ambrose, you and company over there. I have something else to add to that too, but we'll come back to that in a second. Ambrose, you and company aboard the station begin hearing the sounds of large mechanical feet stomping your direction. The engineer 227 kind of looks at you and sort of looks half up into the air, as if looking off in the distance in a way. Then he looks back at you after a second. Kind of narrows his robotic blue eyes. I believe that our presence has been alerted to the core. Looking directly at you, Commander Ambrose.
That bad? That sounds bad.
It's bad.
We should
Do you
get
remember
some
that
cover.
giant round thing that we saw that was disabled? Like just
Oh,
outside
God.
the city? Yeah, it's not disabled anymore.
Those are, at least for the time being, under our control.
Hopefully it
Let's
stays
hope
that way.
Yeah.
At which point, cresting one of the hills in the a little ways off on the other side of where you are, so you're facing it, Ambrose, crests two of the Guardians.
Those, however,
there you go.
I'm not sure are.
Oh.
And we'll go ahead and end right there.
Oh.
Session?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
That's
maybe I'll shoot some robots next month.
Next month. No, next week. I am good for next week. So,
Okay.
but yes, we'll start out next session with a combat. So
awesome.